Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we're looking inside a box of TimberTech's AS-186K airbrush compressor set. So there it is, a TimberTech compressor. Never heard of TimberTech, but they're made by a company called Airgu, and Airgu also make the Fengda airbrushes, like this one, which is the FE180K. Great airbrush, 20 pounds or about 30 US dollars, comes with a 0.2 and a 0.3 needle, and for the money, it's probably the best airbrush out there, to be honest with you. It's a really good product. So when Airgu reached out to me and said, hey, can you review one of our products? I was like, well, I don't normally do a lot on my channel because normally lot aren't modeling related, but this one is. And also I know the brand. I quite like, again, really like this airbrush they produce. So I thought, sure, send me it. I'll take a look inside the box. So what you're getting basically is a starter set. So you're getting the compressor with a tank, some paint, cleaning brushes, hose, and a generic kind of airbrush with it. Now I'm not sure the size of the needle, doesn't say anywhere on here. But by looking at the box and looking at the airbrush, it seems like about a 0.3 needle. So there we go. So I will say this isn't, we here on channel use a lot of advanced equipment. I got a Sparmax compressor, bench vent air booth, using Pro Convoy airbrushes, high quality, expensive stuff. This is more for your budget beginner. For sure, definitely the airbrush. We can always upgrade the airbrush at any time. And also, I kind of forget, but airbrushing isn't just model making, but if you're into cake decorating, makeup, arts, or other kinds of stuff, this is right down your alley too. So let's go ahead and open the box, take a look inside it, and give it a quick go. Okay, so here's the box. It's the AS-186K piston type 125 watt air compressor set, oilless. What else? Now, one thing I noticed, it doesn't say anywhere what size needle is in the airbrush. You're getting some cleaning stuff, you're getting the compressor, you're getting the hose, airbrush, and the ink. So airbrush, pretty much everything you need to get started with airbrushing. And if I open the box, you can see what we got in there. So some random inks, just get you started, I guess. It's like this is airbrush hold stand, probably goes onto the compressor. We have the airbrush. Now, interesting to see that it's not Fengda, it's TimberTech. Exactly the same box, format, fonts, everything, but it's marketed as not as a different brand on here. So TimberTech is the actual, I see on here too, TimberTech Eco. But Airgu is the, you see here, airgu-europe.com is the company. All right, so we've got a couple of bits of literature. And basically, I'm just going to manhandle and take this out. Let's get rid of the box. So we've got owner's manual, a nice braided hose, some cleaning stuff for the airbrush, and this, carefully remove this, is the compressor. I want to try to keep this packaging because often, as you know, this stuff I get sent from manufacturers. I typically like to give it away to my channel members or subscribers on my YouTube subscribers. So watch out, this will be an upcoming giveaway at some point in time. But there we go, that's the compressor. Now, this type's been around a long time. We got a tank, which is great, the compressor attached to the top, and we have the valve moisture trap, which is good. Let me turn it around so you actually see. There we go. Now, there's tons of these coming from various factories in China. The quality does kind of really depend where it's from. It's hard to tell. Some people with this kind of compressor, you have to replace them after a year. Some people have been using them for 3 or 4 or 5 years, no problem at all. It just kind of really depends. So what we'll do is we'll get the hose out. And firstly, we're just going to fire this thing up and just see how loud it is, I guess. So the hose simply just goes on here. Airbrush. Okay, get the plastic off. Again, here's the airbrush. Dual action. And again, it doesn't say what the needle size is, which is very unusual. Made in China, airgu-europe.com. Here's your airbrush. It's just typical, like stereotypical kind of Chinese airbrush. Doesn't look quite as nice as a Fengda 186K. Pretty straightforward airbrush. It does have a stop on the back, which is nice. Yeah, feels kind of cheap and what you can expect. Not sure why I'm taking the airbrush apart. Needle size, again, doesn't say. I would say it's probably about a 0.3 needle, as it looks similar. But if I find out, I will put a note in the show notes below on the screen. Color cups attached, got lid on it. Basic airbrush. I'm going to go ahead, attach to the hose. And we're going to plug this thing in. I have an outlet over here. Should reach. All right, so it seems pretty quiet actually. I have a Spar Max is what I use. At the same time, I have my spray booth going at the same time on the same outlet. But it seems very quiet. A lot quieter than your industrial kind of power tool one. And you see there we're getting the pressure lifted up, and then we're just going to turn it set to 30. Way too high. I'm going the wrong direction here. I'm just going to bleed some of this air out. All right, so I put it just around 20. So waiting for this tank to fill up. Obviously, we just sprayed a bunch of air out of it, so it's going to take a lot longer than usual. There we go. Sharp. So tank's now full. Again, my bad. I shouldn't, sprayed a bunch of stuff, so it took longer than normal. So we're set to about 20 psi right now. Typical applications, you don't really need much more than that. If you're spraying lacquer paint, you can probably go down to about 5 psi, to be honest with you. So I'm noticing with this, lower movement is kind of moving the needle quite a lot here on the gauge. Okay, we're down to running about 10 to 12 psi on this, which is about the range. But again, it's just taking the air from the tank, so it's nice and even air distribution. As the tank gets low, the compressor will kick in and fill the tank back up. So technically, you could unplug it now. You could carry it to a different room in the house, and you basically got, a gallon or so of air to work with. So let me just try something real quick. Let me get a paper towel and some paint. I'm just going to move this back a little here. And I don't really want to use the paint that came with this because I have no idea what kind of paint it is or mixture. So let's use my usual Tamiya paint. What do I have here? Let's find one that's mixed, ready to go. Okay, so we've got some red. Tamiya red. Synthetic lacquer paint. Synthetic alcohol paint. And I'm just going to put some red in here. And quite a big kind of trough in there. See how it fills it up? And let me kind of got myself crossed over here. Let me kind of release this tag. There we go, a little bit more hose. And let's give it a little spray and see how we go. So let me move it in the camera. And we're just going to go. So the stop is, there we go. There we go. It goes all the way back now. Okay, so that's your close up. And pull back the trigger. And as you can see, it's using the air, it just kicks in. Again, I'm running about 15 psi. Oh, wrong way, let's turn it up a little bit. And as you can see, we're getting some very nice tight lines. And there we go. I'm not sure exactly how much I can really test with this, but that gives you an idea. So it works fine. You get to see it using it operation there. It's doing some really nice spraying really nicely, actually. Now, the feel of it, I would say this is a basic airbrush. Now, if you're new to modeling, you just want to set up for $100 to get you going, this seems fine. You got the compressor, you got the airbrush. You can always upgrade the airbrush. I would recommend you probably upgrade it to the 186 Fengda. Actually, I have it over here somewhere, if I can show you. Wait, so this is 186K. It comes in a really nice box. Same manufacturer, and it comes with a hose. You get a 0.2 and a 0.3 needle. Like I said, this is about 21 pounds or 30 US dollars ish, and that's the airbrush you're getting, and it's much better quality. Feels good. This one is your typical kind of cheap Chinese kind of one. Now, again, if you're just doing like makeup or cakes or stuff like that, or just getting started, this would be fine. But if you do any kind of more detail work, splurge and get the 186K, not much more expensive, and that will definitely do you good. Also, I'm trying to think of that. No, I didn't have a quick release, but that's the 186K. But the one you get with it, again, you see I've just sprayed it. I mean, for basic stuff, no problem at all. And the airbrush, the compressor seems to be keeping its air because it hasn't kicked in for a while. And again, no problem at all. So there you go for a basic airbrush compressor. So thanks again to AirGoo for sending it to me. Again, if you're interested, the link is below. Let me turn this off. So thank you for watching as always, and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.